Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to AddisDialogue. Today on the show, we'll be talking about the recent Ankara Declaration, which has signified an agreement between Ethiopia and Somalia, resolving their differences through friendship and mutual respect. And as such, it has been hailed as a diplomatic milestone for regional peace and stability. The agreement has won appreciation, acclamation from different countries, as well as international partners. So what exactly does it signify, and what lessons will it present to others in the region, especially when it comes to solving issues and differences through roundtable discussions? In this regard, my guest today is Mekki Elmograbi, is Sudanese media consultant, press writer, as well as former diplomat. Do stay with us. All right, Mekki, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, you're most welcome, and greetings to the audience of Ethiopian TV and all the people that we love in Ethiopia and in the world.
Yes, sir. Greetings to you as well and to the friendly people of Sudan. Thank you so much again. So let's just jump right into it. And as you have been following, the Ankara Declaration signed between Ethiopia and Somalia, facilitated by Turkey, was held in a cordial atmosphere, enabling a frank and constructive discussion. It has been hailed as the right step toward forging stronger regional cooperation between the peoples of Ethiopia and Somalia, as you know, as well as the greater Horn of Africa and beyond. So in this regard, what have you made out of this recent move?
Personally, I'm very happy with what had happened because this is what I was calling for, and I just kept saying that and pushing that the Turkish mediation will make the difference and will achieve the success. Because I know that by 100%, Ethiopia doesn't want war at all. Ethiopia wants economic development. It has its own plans, and also it has enough challenges and conflict that by 100% Ethiopian government don't seek war. Also on the Somali side, and also I'm common guest also to Mogadishu, Addis Ababa, all the capitals and the beautiful cities of the Horn of Africa. I know the Somali government, they don't want war at all. They had enough history of war in their life, and they want to build their country. They don't want war. Also, Turkey has investment in Ethiopia, reach about $3 billion, and that may be a big number when you look at when you compare it with other African nations. It is one of the biggest Turkish investment in Africa, and mainly in Horn of Africa. And also, Turkey has ambitious plans for investment in oil sector in Somalia. So it is a trusted partner. It has interest here and there. It has good reputation, and it presented its mediation accepted by both countries. For some time there was a delay, but finally Turkey made the success, and both countries make the success, and they came together. And I think Ankara Declaration will continue, and the direct Ethiopian-Somali negotiation will continue, and I think the two countries will be together again very soon.
Multiple international partners, including the AU, the US, the UK, the UN, among others, have expressed their support for the Ankara agreement signed between Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud on December 11, 2024. So what are the major reasons behind attracting such huge appreciations coming in from the international partners and from the different countries?
I'm sure that friends of Ethiopia and real friends of Africa, they support Ankara Declaration. They want peace between Somalia and Ethiopia. Regarding the UK, the US, the EU, we hear what they said and we appreciate their positive messages. But I don't want to spend time expecting high expectation from the Western countries. It is good to have them on board with African, but I depend on African role from the region, from the neighboring countries, that they will support and push the agreement and the peace will be between Somalia and Ethiopia. And look at us, just like us in Sudan, we want peace between Ethiopia and Somalia, definitely, because we have enough war in our country, we have enough war in our region, and we want a model of success to happen in front of our eyes. And also, during the Ankara Declaration, Erdogan himself, the Turkish president, he declared also good efforts in the Sudanese file. So that for us, we push this and we like this, we support this, and I want others from the West and international community to be more serious in supporting peace in Ethiopia.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's going to be a good example for the region when it comes to solving issues using discussions around the table rather than resorting to wars or other forms of conflict. In this regard, I think you raised a wonderful idea. So moving on from there, the declaration acknowledged the contributions of Ethiopian soldiers in Somalia, stating that Somalia acknowledged the sacrifices made by Ethiopian soldiers. So in this regard, how important was Ethiopia's contribution to the peace and stability in the Horn of Africa in general and in Somalia in particular? And how has the move shed the spotlight on Ethiopia's role in promoting peace and development in the region?
I always say it's a collective responsibility. Ethiopia is doing its part. Other countries should do their part. The same of Ethiopia and other countries. For some time, we have Ethiopian contribution in the peace in the peace mission in Sudan, in Abyei, the area between Sudan and South Sudan. So that the idea of African solution for African problems means that countries like Ethiopia should participate in the peace and security of the region. All countries, Sudan, Somalia, all countries in the region should participate in the peace and security. And that is a good point from Ankara Declaration.
They agreed, as you know, with the spirit of friendship and mutual respect, to forego and leave behind differences and contentious issues and forge ahead in a cooperative manner to pursue shared prosperity and growth. In this regard, how has the Turkish brokered agreement empowered Ethiopia and Somalia to address their disputes amicably while steering clear of external influences?
I think it was a good, positive intervention. We always say African solution for African problems, just like Pretoria Agreement between the government of Ethiopia and the Tigray. That was African solution for African problems by 100%. In the case of Turkey, Turkey is out of Africa, but at least it's a good partner for Africa. It's an example for that intervention could be positive and good for Africans, so that we don't close the door completely, but we leave the door half open. But if the intervention is bad, is just like the colonization, we close the door firmly. The next step for Ankara Declaration will be the technical committees or the technical delegation from both sides, Somalia and Ethiopia. They will send to the negotiation technical people and experts to continue discussion. I have been asked by media, what do you expect? I say always let technical things for technical people. Our role in media is to push the negotiation, is to call for peace, is to support the technical people to reach an agreement.
Yes, sir. Definitely. So the two countries welcomed Turkish assistance in the implementation of these commitments and pledged to resolve any differences concerning their interpretation and application through dialogue and in a peaceful manner, as we have been covering so far. So how significant was the Turkish assistance in this regard?
For me, as a person that I toured Africa, I visited, it was not just a visit, I worked actually in more than 23 African countries throughout my media career. And it was not just visits, just like a VIP person going to hotels and enjoy workshops and seminars. No, I went there for media missions, and I can see who is investing in Africa, good and positive investment. Turkey is among one of the best countries investing in Africa in the area of construction companies, in the area of building airports, in the area of energy, in the area of industrialization. So Turkey has good contribution. And for that very reason, I expect that Turkey will doing things that African will respect Turkey more and more and will love Turkey more and more. I expect that the negotiation will continue and a technical agreement it will be reached by both sides.
Given that Ethiopia's role and economy is growing, how should nations and leaders recognize Ethiopia's economic progress, especially as beneficial to the entire region, be it through its Green Legacy Initiative or the huge projects like the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, things like that? How should they, recognize Ethiopia's change and transformation as important, not only in Ethiopia, but also to the entire region in the Horn of Africa?
I'm sure that experts from Africa, governments, they know the development in Ethiopia very well. And they notice that every day, every year, every month, people see new things in Ethiopia. For me, as a person that stayed in Ethiopia for some time and worked in Ethiopia in the media, connected with the African Union for some time, and attend events. Whenever I come back again, I find new thing, new development, new construction, new building happening in Ethiopia. The final things that we start to cover in Ethiopia before coronavirus, before the war, before anything, was the industrialization, industrial parks. It was the era of industrialization, and Ethiopia now established 13 industrial parks, all them launched and ready to serve and ready to work with partners. The wartime stopped the process for some time, but now Ethiopia is back, and I think the agreement with Somalia will give Ethiopia more credit, more international credit, and it will load the good image of Ethiopia with more positive points. So that lead us to come again and to look at the Ethiopian model and to learn from the green legacy and other things that is related to the Ethiopian development.
While Ethiopia is changing and going through tremendous transformation, there are still negative narratives being driven against this East African nation. In this regard, how should Ethiopia continue, and how should it try to refute these false allegations and things like that?
We will come again, definitely, for sure, in February, the African Union Summit.
Okay.
That would be a good opportunity to join with all African nations, our own African friends and experts that we usually meet them in Addis Ababa, the political capital of Africa. I'm pretty sure Ethiopian, they should come and focus again on their development, on their economy. I will give you an example. Before the war that erupted in the northern part of Ethiopia, finally now we had a Pretoria agreement that stopped the war. But before that, I remember very well, me and African delegation, we were preparing to come to Ethiopia for to cover the industrial parks. And we were ready at that time. We organized all things, and we find good sponsorship from the African private sector. But the war happened, so that we stopped the trip. I'm pretty sure the industrial park didn't stop. They are still there, but because of the atmosphere of the war at that time and some technical reasons related to war, we stopped media coverage of the industrial parks, and we went again to attack on the third party and the enemy of Ethiopia and the enemies of Africa, and we spent time in that campaign, not in industrialization revolution that happened in Ethiopia. So my advice is just focus on your development, focus on your achievement, focus on the Ethiopian dream, just like part of African dream, to make Africa better and to make Ethiopia better.
That's a wonderful piece of advice. Thank you so much for that. My final question would be, what's the way forward, when it comes to peace and stability in the Horn of Africa? And how should Ethiopia and Somalia in particular, and of course, the other countries in the region, how should they continue in the future in order to ensure lasting peace as well as prosperity and growth in the region, in the Horn of Africa?
My message to the Ethiopian people and to the Somali people: trust in your governments, trust in your technical people. It is not a blind trust. We are journalists. We always try to detect the wrong things, but we put it in a peaceful context and in a positive context, not in the way that the other people or the third party want to explode the game and to stop the negotiation. So my advice is, let technical people meet, let technical people join on a round table and give them time to discuss technical issues and to reach an agreement. Our role in the region, the role of Ethiopian politicians and activists all around the world and journalists, and the role of Somali and politicians, journalists, activists all around the world is to push Ankara declaration and to appreciate the way that the two governments, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud and Abiy Ahmed, met together and shake hands and hold hands and go together for the good for the two countries, Ethiopia and Somalia.
Definitely, that's a wonderful message. Mekki Elmograbi, Sudanese media consultant, press writer, and former diplomat. Thank you so much for your usual cooperation and, of course, for the great ideas that you raised. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm always with you and with the Ethiopian audience to support the development and the revolution in this country.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, many thanks to you as well for having been with us so far. And till I see you next time with another program, it's a goodbye from me, Shifaraulag.